What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Today I've got the Dx18 Darth Maul ready for an unboxing and some posing. It's a pretty cool figure. I'm loving the box art so far. The last time I got a Darth Maul in my collection, it was this guy. Just pretty old school. So this one's a bit of an upgrade. But if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe for me, and let's get into it. Okay, so we are back. I am loving the look of this box. Now I know it's crazy because Star Wars has this unique design where they clearly want to stick to a certain box art style, but to be honest, it's pretty classy and I do like the look of it. I like that it shows the figure on the front of the box, which is really cool. And this is of course a DX release, so you just know when you get this slip cover off, it's gonna look pretty badass underneath. Now this is actually my third DX in my collection. I've got the DX12 Batman, the DX11 Joker, and of course this is the DX18 Darth Maul. Now the box underneath, like you guys can see when I slid that off, this thing feels weighted, it's really shiny, it's got a really nice coating on the box, which actually has a bit of a texture to it. And then underneath, as you slip the foam pad off, you see that it's got this keychain, which is probably the weirdest inclusion in a Hot Toys I think I have in my collection, to be honest. Not something I feel comfortable using out of a set that now goes, I think, for like about $700 on the Canadian aftermarket, which is crazy when you think about it. I'm definitely not going to dangle this thing off my keys. Now, I don't know about you guys. For me, when I watched Solo, A Star Wars Story, seeing Darth Maul actually surprised me. Trying not to spoil. If you haven't seen Solo, definitely take a watch. But I was hoping that we'd get a Hot Toys figure from it, and this release so far, even just from this initial unboxing, does not disappoint. I mean, he even comes with a pedestal that he's sitting on in that scene. You get that iconic kind of foam, dark material to house him in, unlike the clamshell of previous releases or non-DX releases. I honestly think Hot Toys needs to convert to this foam for all of their releases. I understand that it's a bit of a DX thing, but it makes the figure feel so much more premium than trying to peel him out of a plastic clamshell. So, something to think about potentially for the future. Now, getting him out of that foam, just kind of standing him up here against the white wall, you can see he's definitely going to require a little bit of futzing, especially on the cape and the material, the hood specifically. But look at these legs. Now, I mean, when we see him in The Phantom Menace, he gets cut in half and tossed down a tube, and we think he's dead, right? Like 100%. Obviously, we get to find out that he's actually been the leader of a crime syndicate called Crimson Dawn, and he's got these robotic legs now, which are crazy detailed on the figure. I think it's beautiful. The horns on his head, or the spikes, are actually pretty freaking sharp. So be careful. I don't know if that'll be a poking risk for anybody, but even just in moving his head, it definitely is sharp. You see his earring for Ray Park up on the top right-hand corner of his ear there, and then of course he can turn his head in any direction with it being a magnetized neck. You can see that the tattoo on his chest definitely matches the skin on his face, I think, pretty well. But again, those spikes, damn, they are sharp. Now, this guy does have the rolling eye system, which is fantastic, especially for a DX release that doesn't come with multiple head sculpts. You can see here that with that tool, you can reach in the head sculpt and make Darth Maul here look at pretty much any direction, and you can make him look pretty bug-eyed as well. That one to me looks a little bit like Pennywise, whereas some of these looking off to the sides, or just down or up, even really just gives him an expression that adds to the character coming through, right? For me, I plan to sit this guy likely on his pedestal and have him kind of looking ominously at us, which I think will be pretty cool. This is that rolling eye system inside the head, so you can see how that goes. Now, when I'm futzing the outfit here, I wanted to see what this guy would look like with his, hood up. It was kind of tricky, I'm not gonna lie. It's almost too much material, and because of the way that the spikes protrude through the head, it keeps the hood up really high. I had to futz it down quite a bit, but the other robes here are on wires, so if you want to make him look like he's in motion, you can. If you're wanting to make him look like he's just in more of a museum pose with less wind, you can also do that, but again, it definitely requires some of that futzing. I almost would even recommend having a little bit of double-sided tape in the hood there, just to kind of help taper it down to his shoulders and give it more of a natural look. Otherwise, it's really popped up and kind of goofy looking, not gonna lie. Now, this figure does come with two different lightsabers. This lightsaber is a non-lightable lightsaber, so there's no battery in this one at all. You can peg in some of the saber blades that look like they're either in motion, like these ones, or of course more of the movement-free lightsaber options where it looks like the blade is just coming out. If you want to stick these little batteries into the secondary arm that this guy comes with, he does come with the arm that slots into the shoulder joint. That's a little bit weird to pop out, but I didn't find it as annoying to do as a lot of people suggest that it is. So I think if you want to see what it looks like lit up, it's worthy of the 5 minutes. Definitely have some tweezers and a very small screwdriver in order to do it, however, and that's something that Hot Toys here has not provided in the box, is that little screwdriver in order to do so. At least not in the release that I got. Maybe the previous owner has lost it. However, when you turn down the lights, you stick up the hood, you light the sabers, yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm digging that. I really wish these batteries would last fucking longer, because, like, really, come on, right? Like, if you could have this guy in your display like this all the time without a cord dangling out the back, I think that'd be really cool. I really hope that Hot Toys gets into some kind of rechargeable technology, you know, at some point. But in the meantime, for the sake of some photographs and some posing for you guys, I think that this is pretty cool either way. You can tell that the light doesn't reach the ends of the lightsabers all that well, but that's such a small nitpick. I think the fact that you can even see it like this looks pretty freaking cool. Like I showed you guys at the beginning of the video, my last figure from the Phantom Menace a long time ago doesn't look anything like this. Like, this looks like Ray Park standing there with his dual blades, getting ready for battle. I think it's really, really cool looking. I think with the futzing of the outfit, again, you can make him look like this pose where he's in motion almost. Or you can get these really ominous, like Darth Maul-esque poses like this, where you can just hear that blade sound coming out of the lightsaber. Now, the figure does come with a decent array of hands. I would say overall, they're painted okay. I mean, there's nothing that's really a standout here. I do like that there's at least a Force choking hand, as well as that Force kind of wielding hand, like he's got here up on the left. I think that looks really cool. There's a lot you can do with that, right? You can make things look like they're floating if you've got some camera tricks. I think that's pretty nice. I think the other thing to note is that the figure actually does stand on his own pretty well. I had a couple of tip overs, but nothing that was, you know, groundbreaking by any stretch. Those mechanical legs pose very nicely with the figure. They even have articulating toes, which I think is cool. So you can kind of tip him forward or back a little bit. Again, make him look like he's in motion or fighting, which for Darth Maul is important, right? I mean, he's got a pretty acrobatic fighting style, so you can't just have the guy standing in a museum pose. If it's going to be museum, it's going to be sitting for me. And with this guy becoming, you know, like essentially kind of this crime lord, I think having him sitting on his pedestal like this is actually still really badass looking. And he's only the second figure in my collection that I have sitting down. I've got the DX11 Joker sitting down in his chair that he comes with. This guy's going to be the second figure in my collection that sits, I think, more permanently, and partially because you can see his legs displayed a little bit better. I also like how, you know, scary you can make his eyes look. When you tip his head forward, it's pretty cool. Now, this is a hologram of Kira that he comes with. I do think it's scaled pretty well. I never really use holograms. I wanted to put him with Grogu instead, just to see what he looked like there. But he also comes with a hologram of himself sitting on the throne, which I think is kind of funny, because he's not ever really going to talk to himself, right? So this hologram is clearly more for like another character, if you wanted to give him maybe to the Emperor or something along those lines. But the base that the guy comes on, this hologram specifically, is, I think, die-cast. It's really heavily weighted and actually kind of premium. So I definitely dig that. This is what I wanted to show you guys at the beginning of the video. My original Phantom Menace figure next to my Solo Maul figure here from Hot Toys. Clearly, it's a different generation of figure. Clearly, it's obviously very different scales. This is back in the day of the Comtech technology, which is kind of fun. But it's cool to have another much more realistic Darth Maul in my collection, let's be honest. But if you're not the type of collector that wants to sit this guy down on the throne like this type of pose, he does come with this massive freaking base and a dynamic flight pull, so you can pull off some pretty cool acrobatic tricks. Not going to be for mine, I just don't have the space in my collection. But overall, guys, I would give this guy a 9.5 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. What are your thoughts? I want to hear from you below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe for me, and I will catch you on the next toy video. Thanks, everybody.